Alrighty then, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, and welcome one and all. My name's Michael, I'm the Dead Aussie Gamer, and welcome to Pathfinder 2nd Edition, The 7 Dooms of Sandpoint. Our titular role-playing adventure featuring these wonderful and amazing Patreons who help support the channel, keep my lights on, and allow me to do all this cool, crazy, wacky, and fun and amazing stuff. Guys! Say hello to the folks at home while I move my map. There we go.
Hi.
Morning.
Hey.
Hi, folks at home.
Alright, so good to
Hello.
see everyone. Cookies on some PTO. That's freaking awesome.
Oh, nice.
Metal saying, look, I know you've lost your watch streak, but let me assure you that in our hearts, we know what your watch streak is. We all know the one simple truth, and that is right now, fucking no one's catching up to School Guy. That's all everyone fucking knows right now. 290 some bullshit fucking thing. Anyway.
How did you know?
Because I see it. It's my channel. What the fuck do you mean? Of all the things I don't... Okay, so to be fair, I don't
How do you remember? That's the worrying bit.
Yeah. To be fair, I don't pay attention to Look, don't call me out. It's my show. Fucking hell. Jesus. Anyway, guys.
Because I hate call you.
Excellent. Continue, Skulai. Continue.
Okay. Anyway, today what we're doing is we're going to be playing a tabletop role-playing game. A game in which my fellow players take on the role of the protagonists in a storytelling adventure that is dictated by myself, the narrator, the storyteller, and the game master. I play on the roles of the NPCs, the obstacles, the challenges that they face, and the rewards that they given along the way as well, while my heroes use their wits, their guiles, and these fantastical characters in order to overcome the challenges that lay before them. Before we kick off, we have some people to thank, and that is, of course, our lovely and amazing sponsors. Hey, Creative Garden, good to see you. The sponsors who help us pretty much keep the lights on here and continue to look as professional and amazing as we can. Starting with Hero Forge for the number of character tokens you can see on screen here. All the character tokens are made using an amazing 3D model making software called Hero Forge that allows you to not only design and create amazing characters, but also have them 3D printed, shipped to you anywhere in the world as either a commemorative token if you play online like me, or if you do play in person, they are absolutely wonderful tokens to represent your characters in the game. Then, of course, we have Sirenscape for the wonderful sound effects that immerse my players into the world of the game while we play, because every epic game deserves to sound epic as well, so that is what we use. And lastly, Fantasy Grounds for my virtual tabletop behind me. The dice rollers, the maps, all the rules, all the calculations, they're all done using this amazing VTT that allows me to connect to all these amazing people from all around the world. And, of course, Matt from Melbourne. Hi, Matt. There you go. And speaking of Matt, guys, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we would not be here without the generosity of my players. And the game itself and the quality of the game is defined by these individuals. So let's find out about the main characters of our show today, starting with, in reverse order this time, Matt from All Things Fantasy, playing the role of Navander.
Good morning. How's everyone going tonight? I hope
Doing
you're
great.
having a great time.
Doing great. How are you?
Yeah, wonderful. Sounds good.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, perfect.
Great.
That's what I like to hear.
Fucking swell.
I know. It's sweet. I hate winter. Really hate it.
Fuck winter. It was like 3 degrees this morning.
Oh,
It's
yesterday-
winter where you are.
The day before yesterday, it was like stormy, rainy, like 2 degrees the entire day. It was just awful.
Fucking
I
disgusting.
hated it.
Fucking
Yeah.
disgusting, yeah.
Winter
Anyway.
in July.
Anyway, you're here to see Navander, of course. Navander, the Magus who rides upon the majestic miser. He was once a member of the Sable Company Marine, now semi-retired here in the Sandpoint Winterlands, holding on to a ranch, as well as his beautiful wife, Shalelu, who is currently suffering a small case of head-based trauma. So she's up with her father up at Fort Roanoke, and Navander is making sure that the 7 Dooms of Sandpoint that Nualia promised and has enacted does not affect Sandpoint. You can tell everyone else is like, oh, we should protect Sandpoint and give Nualia her rest. Navander's like, no.
Fuck that bitch. Yeah, fair. Next up, we have playing the role of the person, Peyton. I mean, thug. Not really. Nice guy. Not really. He's a fighter, but gets beaten up a lot. He's a guy. He has a
rogue
buck lethal.
fighter.
Oh, you know what?
Yeah.
Actually, you know what I could do? I could say the brother to Noin. There you go. You've got a descriptor now. I can describe you. So
yeah.
Noin's brother, playing Noin's brother, is none other than Neil from Immersion Diversion.
Don't look at me.
For those of you who don't know, Noin is an NPC, so a non-player character who is a clone of Peyton, who has become
And he's-
beloved in the town in a very short period of time.
He's calling him his brother, and I'm like, what the fuck? No, that's how he gets to stay alive, I guess, for now. Because he's also being nice to Misha. Anyway, Peyton, he's a troll wrestler also. Originally titled Troll Slayer, but then wrestled some trolls in the pit. And has gained their friendship, kind of, I think, at some point, right? Yeah.
Sure,
Maybe.
why not?
I don't know. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, he's kind of just helping the town he grew up in any way he can. And now, since, there's a bunch of threats happening, he figured, he thinks he's strong enough to help fight off these threats, maybe?
Nice. All right.
Yeah.
Moving right along, we have the lovely and amazing OG Lava Kitten playing the role of Maro.
Hello. Yes, I am playing Maro, who has just come into town to investigate rumors of necromantic behavior happening. And as a priest of Phrasma, it's very important to her to make sure that's not happening. So she's decided to stick around, though, because there seems to be a lot of problems, and the only people who seem to be investigating seem to be hated by the rest of the town for some reason. But anyway, she figures they need her help and has decided to stick around to see what she can do to help the town find these 7 dooms, put souls to rest, good stuff.
Yeah, all the good stuff. And then, unfortunately, not appearing in today's film because of weather conditions is our friend Sean, who would normally be playing the role of Titus, the Azarketi Tiefling, or should I say Nephilim, actually. The Azarketi Nephilim, who is a cleric or a champion of Shaylin, the goddess of art and beauty and stuff like that, and he's on a timeout from his master for trying to steal his job. Yeah, so there you go. Next up, we have playing the role of Westonson the Dwarf, is the wonderful and amazing Avarian CA. Hello, John.
Hello. Fancy meeting you here.
Amen.
Hi, I'm Avarian CA. I'm playing Westonson, the dwarvish guard from a local city who is one bad night's sleep away from lighting the entire town of Sandpoint on fire. He has recently decided to divulge himself of a leg and several fingers, which thankfully managed to get reattached, and is now pursuing... Well, he's not sure where he's going with things, but we'll see. We'll see.
I would also like to point out, there is a good story here where you've, conquered your demons that have driven you to the drink. I feel like it's been a long time since Westonson's, gotten sloshed and stuff, so you've done really well, I mean, just freaking... If you're not a hero for saving anyone in this town, you're at least a hero for that in my eyes, I mean, as far as I'm concerned.
I mean, it technically speaking, has only been about 84 hours since I stopped drinking.
True.
But, yeah.
But in dwarf time, that's
that's
true
forever.
years.
Yeah.
Angry dwarf hours, that's a long time.
And last,
I'm
but
just
certainly
waiting for
not
the
least.
interrogation of, here's your drink, don't drink.
But last but certainly not least, taking the role of Cinderial, our group's resident moral compass, is none other than the wonderful and amazing Schoolie.
Yes, the moral compass that says, let's redeem everyone, because everyone needs to be redeemed and brought into the light, because everyone needs to live peaceful and happy, including the green folk that people like the Vampire just want to murder and slay and eradicate from the face of the planet.
You mean goblins? Yeah, I hate those guys.
Yeah. So much hate in this group. Anyway, Before we kick off, we have one last person to thank, and that is, of course, our lovely audience members. Guys, thank you so much for being here and joining the show and enjoying all the cool stuff. We are in the midst of a hype train, and hype trains, as you know, come with their own reward. So, depending on the level of hype train that we do end up getting, which we just kicked into level 1, which is amazing. Thank you to everyone who is subscribing and the like. Gifted subs, subscriptions, bits, etc., go towards the hype train. Every level of the hype train that we conclude, I am going to give our players... what am I going to give you? Ooh, I'm going to give you a Pathfinder pouch. A Pathfinder pouch allows you to retrieve one small useful item for any scenario that you can foresee. Basically, it is like, imagine if you would just a pouch where you can just draw out any kind of item. Like, oh, dang, we need a ladder. Great, fantastic. You reach into the pouch, you pull out a collapsible ladder that you can then use. It'll have a number of charges equal to whatever the hype train reaches. So at the moment, it'll have one item, but each of my players will be given this based on the hype train. So that's the reward for that. Now, before we kick off, we have a couple of ways that you guys can come behind the GM screen and have a bit of fun with us and play while we are doing this. First of all, just by watching the show, you earn channel points that can be used at any point in time to influence the game. Underneath the chat box, you can see the DAG dollary dues there, and they can be used to buy things like inspiration, insight bonuses, wandering monsters, wandering bosses. Tons of cool stuff. So, all those cool things. Be sure to check those out. But those of you who have a bit of disposable income and want to help Dag out, with his finances and stuff like that, you can donate towards the Dag of Holding. The Dag of Holding is a special reward where every $100 that we receive, the party gets a cool, unique homebrew magic item that comes from my own... that comes from pretty much my own home games, and comes with a little story about that as well. The group is getting one already, so there's that. But yeah, and all proceeds currently go towards a crippling Warhammer addiction. That's where we're at. I've only got 9 models left. If I get 9 models, I have one of every model of Necron. I mean, just saying. Putting that out there.
Tots and pears for Dag.
Tots and pears
and
for
his
Dag.
addiction.
That's true. Look what I made. I made it. It's right here. It's a little psychomancer.
Whoa.
Yeah.
There's a whole mod community for people who have resin 3D printers.
There you go.
So let's start convincing Dag to go down another hobby, shall we?
I've actually also just started learning how to magnetize stuff. So after I've done this run, I'm then going to buy another set of stuff that I'm going to have magnetize myself. Just saying. I mean, anyway. Look, I don't lie about where my money goes, okay? I have no self-control, okay? But I could be on drugs and drinking alcohol. But instead, I have tiny bits of plastic that make me happy.
And
Anyway.
a great wall of gray shame.
No, I'm painting them. Fuck you. Ha ha. Don't ask me about my Malifaux shit, but I'm painting these ones. Anyway.
Well, what about your Malifaux shit?
Shut up. Anyway. Moving on, we have monetary donations. These monetary donations help, again, the channel and my addiction and stuff like that. We have a $5 donation, which will provide a red mark to a player of your choosing, or a purple mark to me. The red marks are hero points that can be used to stave off death, petition the DM for stuff that isn't in the rules, or roll with advantage. The purple marks can be used to counteract hero points, make bad guys roll with advantage, or complicate things ever so slightly. For $10, I have 2 decks of cards underneath all of my Warhammer stuff. I have 2 decks of cards in front of me, and I will draw from said deck of cards in order to provide a bonus to a player of your choosing. Firstly is Boom Boom, the heroic action, where do I have a heroic action that I need to give someone? No. No, good. Yeah, so it's a heroic action. It's basically a free power and a spare hero point for any player of your choosing. The second draw, if you would like, instead, is a draw from the deck of plot twists and flashbacks, which is where I will draw a card that has a random story prompt on it, and I insert that story prompt into the game while we play. For $20, I will give a player or the DM a natural 20, which we only have 2 slots for me available at the moment because everyone else has a natural 20. So there is that. Natural 20s are just critical successes. They're a good way to make sure that we do the cool thing that we want to do when we want to do it. For $50, we have 3 rewards at $50. We have a magic item to a player of your choice. This can be a homebrew item you designed. This can be an item of a set that I have designed. It could also be potentially something from my player's wish list as well. So there's that. The second is a draw of the Harrow deck, a mystical Harrow deck that reads the future for my players. If the heroes pursue or reject the prophecy that is told to them, they will get it as a critical success. And then also, based on whatever stat is associated with the card that they drew, the heroes will roll an extra d6 on everything involving that stat, and once per scene, get a reroll on that stat as well. And then the last reward for the $50 mark is, of course, none other than the boss buff, which is just increasing the battle that the group is facing to a alarming degree and just making shit fucking bad. It makes the monster harder. It makes the parameters different. It changes the terrain. It makes victory hard. You know, it's a big thing. So, you know, like, yeah, rest assured, you could turn out a villain of the week into like a ongoing nemesis with this kind of thing. So there you go. All right, the $100 secret menu item. This is, well, today is going to be quite a heavy thing, so we're going to give a lot of emphasis on the start of today's session being quite emotional, so please be aware of that. Please be prepared for it. If anyone does have any problems with it, what I'm going to actually do, and I'm going to give you guys this as well, is we are actually going to be putting up the DAG notification for mature audiences, which I have somewhere.
The DAG After Dark.
There we go. Nope, the mature content warning. So that sign will come up, which will encompass my very, very heavy and intense scene. When it's gone, it'll be away. So if you guys do need to step away, just keep an eye out for that, and it'll let you know if you need to step away or not. In order to bring levity back to the game after we go through such an intense scene, the $100 secret menu item is going to be this. I'm going to take a ton of goblins from Junker's Edge, and they are going to Navander's house for a house party. That is it. I'm going to be sending a score of goblins to Navander's house, which they think is abandoned, and there is going to be a party that the group is going to have to break up. Now, the thing is that it is also being played off as a welcome to the neighborhood party for the goblins because they're trying to integrate goblins into Sandpoint. So Navander's house has just been, kind of, put into this sort of thing. So there you go. And you know what, Jazz, just for you. Oh, and understand, I know your circumstances, and I know Matt and stuff, and yada yada yada. Right? If Jazz is the one who donates, it's only a $50 donation. There you go. That's the additive. Okay, so there you go. If Jazz is the one who donates, Jazz only needs the $50. If Jazz donates and someone else donates, we will not only do the goblins, we will also throw in several bugbears as well who run security. Like they're basically gonna be the bouncers and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So there you go.
Oh.
So if someone does donate the $100, Jazz can donate to have bugbear bouncers.
Matt's like, I'm moving house.
There you go. All right, done. Are we good? Fantastic.
There was a donation from Callie.
Callie!
Train. A hero point for Peyton.
Hero point for Peyton. All right, that fills up our table of hero points. Fantastic. Thank you, Callie.
Thank you, Callie.
I think that's more of Callie's OCD than anything else. Okay, cool. Done and done. All right, and we have the hype train, which means we have. Did we get to level 2? I think we got to level 2. Yeah,
at least level 2. Yeah.
Yeah, we completed level 2. We're 10% into level 3. So. Each of our players now have the Pathfinder bag with 2 objects that they can pull from it. The objects can be of any size, but they are only simple tools and simple objects. So, for example, you can't have something complex, you can't have something magical, but you can have something that's just easy. Like lockpicks actually count, but masterwork lockpicks probably not. A tool used in an alchemical kit, yes. A full-blown, alchemical lab, no. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Once we pull them out of the bag, are they permanent? Like
they are permanent once you pull them out of the bag, yes, and the counter goes down. Also, by the way,
and once the 2 are pulled, the bag is gone. Got it.
Jazz, you fucking legend. Well done. Okay, very well. We are going to we'll come to that after our scene. And like I said, I think we'll need something like this. The $100 is still on the card here for the bouncers. So there you go. So if you want to add bugbear bouncers, and by the way, bugbears were the goblins that lobotomized Navander's wife. So that adds an extra layer of tension there. If you want to add that, then yeah, there we go. That's our thing. All right. Very well. Bugbears it is. You know what's going to be really funny is they're not going to let Navander into his own house because it's like a party, and he's like, all right, okay, this is going to be good. All right.
Name Navander. I don't see you on the list. This is my
Yeah,
house.
exactly. You're not on the list. This is my house. Okay. Now. Okay, new faces, guys. Remember what I said? This is a new thing.
I can't. It's stuck.
Okay.
All right, serious face.
So, we return once more to the town of Sandpoint. The sound of whistles can be heard from up ahead as our heroes travel through the night. They had been investigating a string of attacks late at night at the hands of what they think was a ghost, the ghost of Jervis Stute, having attacked several people in town with a hatchet. Thankfully, people have narrowly avoided anything worse than just a few minor injuries. But after our heroes went to Junker's Isle, to the old home of Jervis Stute, they found an altar to the demon god Pazuzu. Now this god is a tumultuous one, a demon who possesses the very soul of good and kind-hearted people and drives them to do great acts of evil. Perhaps Jervis in life fell victim to this old and powerful force. Maybe that's what drove Jervis to start his colossal killing spree in the first place. But as our heroes returned from Jervis's house, they heard the commotion. They heard the whistles. Moving swiftly, there is a small collection of town militia, each illuminating a small, dark alleyway with several lantern lights that hang. As they gather around, it is difficult to see anything more than the flash of crimson, the blood that is now pooled in the kind of small alley that is here. As you approach, you see Sheriff Hemlock. There is a very stern look on his face. As he sees you approach, You shouldn't be here. You don't need to see what's up ahead.
What happened?
We can say more in the morning. For now, just return to your home. All of you.
Do you need help getting up, or? I mean,
What do you mean getting up? He's the sheriff. He's
Oh.
standing in front of you, like very.
I thought you said he was on the ground bleeding.
No. You can't see
Okay.
who's on the ground because
Got it.
the militia is around them. All you see is
Okay.
this pool of blood. The sheriff has interrupted you from approaching and is saying you guys should go home.
Okay.
Oh, who was it?
It might provide some clues as to who our quarry is.
The
We've,
sheriff finds it hard to speak. He says, I think, and in that moment, you catch a glimpse as one of the officers move. And what you see
No.
you see Misha's lifeless body a huge gash running from her shoulder down her chest, bruises and abrasions over her body. She fought to defend herself. But she is not deceased. She moves and breathes slowly. The officer that's with her seems to be talking very softly. The sheriff steps back in the way. He puts his hand out. Look, you should leave. You don't want to see what comes next.
I just
Mara will look at Sindariel and say,
Yeah,
can you help?
I hope so.
Scenario, you know, while healing magics can restore and heal wounds, especially surface wounds, cuts, abrasions, bruises, and the like, things like organs, torn, destroyed, they need a regeneration spell. You do not have this spell. Anything you do would simply close the wounds, but any damage dealt to these particular places, and from what it looks like, from the attack, lungs, stomach, intestine, possibly even as deep as the liver, have all been brutally wounded.
That is going to turn to Peyton, stand his way. No, Peyton, you should definitely go home.
he hasn't stopped looking at Misha.
Sindara will probably still try to go forward to see if she can at least lessen pain and suffering with any herbs or anything like that she's got from her healers toolkits.
The sheriff looks like he's about to stop you, but recognizes you as a town healer and apprentice to Father Xantus. Father Xantus has been called for, but he does allow you to pass. She is sitting there, breathing short, sharp, shallow breaths.
Who did?
The wound is way worse in Dariel up close than it was a little bit further down.
And I'm guessing if it hit the intestines and all that, it's probably not smelling a whole lot great. They're getting a lot closer as well.
Yeah, correct.
I shoot to the sheriff. Who did this?
The sheriff looks and says, at this stage, I dare not say his name.
Who did this?
I was there. Last time these killings happened, I was there and I saw them. I saw what happened to those victims. If this is just a copycat, it's a damn good one. 'Cause if I hadn't put that dog down myself, I would say this is the hand of Jervis Stute himself.
We have
I
additional
turn-
information. And
I turn
she's
away and
kind of-
leave the site.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. There.
That's all I want to say.
Yeah. There was an altar to a demon lord. And we believe that that is the source of this new attack.
If you're talking about the demon's altar, we are aware of it already.
I've taken care of it.
That's... Well, thank you. Father
But we do
Xantus
need to
tried
track
it.
this person down.
Jervis Stute is dead. Long dead.
Yes.
As I mentioned, killed by my own hand.
Yes, and it is our investigation uncovered that I believe somebody new has been possessed, as Jervis was.
What evidence
We
do you
need to
have of
find
this?
Well, naturally there was the altar to Pazuzu, and I released the spirits from their capture, but they informed us that they will be trapped here until we can return 3 specific objects to release this
I think perhaps
hooded
this...
red man.
Perhaps this might be a conversation best left for another time. I am quite busy right this second.
Yes.
He realizes in that moment when you had said that there was a culprit, and when he asked you, like, you know, who's responsible and what evidence you have, what you lent into was like religious. You know, I prayed to the spirits and the spirits told me this. It's like, that's not a culprit. That's not any evidence.
Yeah.
That's none of this stuff. In fact, even the ritual to free the spirits doesn't point towards even there being a physical culprit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
She'll just
so you can kind of tell.
let him know.
I just more mean you can kind of tell at this point in
Yeah.
time, his attention right now is definitely towards the victim here. Right. He's just trying to bring her as much peace and comfort as possible.
Yeah.
And he's not trying to be disrespectful about it.
No.
He's just like, you can just kind of tell that his mind's not here with that.
Yeah.
Cinderio.
Yes.
Because I know you did get to approach.
So obviously close up and obviously trying not to gag probably at this point. Because obviously she's never had to deal with wounds this severe.
Mm-hmm.
She's probably mentally trying to go. She's almost trying to forget that this is someone that obviously is very close to her, and certainly very close to people that she's travels with for quite a while. As she's mentally almost trying to go back to the book, learning that she should have done on how to ease the suffering, just so that if she can't be saved, at least she doesn't suffer in the last moments. She does whatever it is she can do, whether that's numbing the areas.
Sadly, you do not possess. Do you have a doctor's kit or anything of the sort?
I should have got healer's tools.
Healer's tools, yeah, will come with some basic anesthetic.
Yeah.
Which you can apply for sure. She seems to be trying to speak. Her voice is very weak. As we said, much of the damage to her lungs prevents her from talking too loudly. Her arms are unable to be lifted, but they look as though they are straining to try and get your attention.
I'll hand her a piece of chalk, see if she can write it, or shakily, any words on the pavement beside us.
It's slow. She shakily starts writing the word P, followed by the letter A, followed by Y, So you're gonna make her spell the whole thing? Fine. She spells that T.
No.
I mean, I'm just. I get that there's the
see.
dramatic pause. I'm just like. Mm-hmm.
Yep. And as soon as she probably gets to about the second or third letter, she puts her hand over it. Say that's enough. And at which point, Sandera will try to scan the crowd to see if she can see Peyton, who I appreciate has stormed off in the crowd.
Yeah.
You definitely see Peyton.
I thought he said he'd stormed off to find
Yeah, Peyton left.
Oh, right. Yeah.
I'll kind of leave it up to Michael, but if you say he sees me as I'm walking away, sure.
Where are you heading?
I'm looking for someone.
Who's someone? I'm your DM. You can't just say someone. There's a million people
No, I
in
know.
town. You're gonna go to your child's bedroom.
I was getting to that.
Okay, go.
I'm looking for no one.
You're looking for no one. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Roll me a percentage.
Two. Oh fuck.
You don't find no one. No one finds you. No one grabs you and drags you into an alleyway. Cinderio, you see that happen. Let me just pull up Noan real quick. Hiya. All right. Noan, Peyton's evil twin brother, who's actually just a clone, grabs you. What have you done?
I didn't fucking do anything.
Bullshit. You, your friends, all of you are nothing but trouble. You drag everyone around you, everyone you care about, into this stupid cockamamie scheme that you guys have.
Yes, I know it's stupid. This was all stupid.
So what have you done? What have you brought down upon this town this time?
This was already in the town. Whatever's happening happened before.
You start, yeah, basically, Sindero, you're hearing Peyton yelling at himself. You can see this is what's happening. So if you can imagine just like kind of a forearm against Peyton against the wall, that's kind of the scene that you have between Noan and Peyton. Peyton, what do you say as I mean, obviously he's having the conversation.
I just say, this needs to stop.
Stop.
I can't take it anymore.
Stop. Stopping's easy. Stopping means stopping going back down that accursed hole that is doing nothing but bringing the dooms to Sandpoint. Stopping...
They were gonna come either way, whether we went or not.
Are you so sure? Are you so certain? Or have you and your friends just stirred up a beehive? And now the rest of us...
I didn't come into that pit. You would not be here.
He lets you go as you say that. Sindariel, this is where you enter.
I was going to say, Sandero probably wouldn't approach them, but she'd be trying to wave and then pointing for Navander and Westerson so that they can see everything.
Sure, not a problem.
So,
Navander and Westerson.
more because she doesn't want to leave...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Morrow will head over, though.
Yeah, sure. He backs off, and Peyton, you see the others who are in this conversation. They definitely hear that last line in particular of "you wouldn't be here if we hadn't gone into the pit," which is very true. He wouldn't.
Enough. Peyton, go. She wants you. Noan, we need to talk.
I'll run to the site.
Okay. No one looks pretty upset. He sticks around. Peyton, you return to the site. As you arrive, Father Xantus is pretty much has just arrived and has cleaned up some of the wounds. He has this kind of very dour look upon his face. My child, I am so sorry. I have done everything I can.
Just take me to her.
She does not have long, and she is weak. Hold her. Make sure she is not alone.
I will.
He casts blessing on you. Oh yeah. Because sometimes
Inspire courage.
Because sometimes it's not about the stats. Okay.
Mhm.
You arrive and you see your long-term childhood friend.
I will kind of kneel down next to her, enough to where she can see me without turning her head, so that she's not in so much pain. I'm here, Misha.
Peyton,
I look.
I'm sorry. I couldn't be there.
I'm sorry I couldn't be there either.
I thought that if I'd been hard on you, you'd try and stay safe. I thought if I kept being hard on you, you would give up.
Someone's got to protect. Someone's got to protect you.
She tries to reach up to grab your hand, but her
I
hand is
grab
too
her.
heavy.
I will grab it, but so that she doesn't have to lift it any further.
She seems to be
Okay, I got you.
You watch as tears stop sort of forming in her eye. One of her eyes is now swollen shut as she says, but it doesn't have to be you. Why do you have to suffer for the town? Why is it too hard for you to find your happiness?
I don't know. All I know is I don't know.
Her hand begins
But
to grow heavy in yours.
I grab it with my other hand.
She tries to swallow, but she ends up coughing quite hard, blood pooling at her mouth as she spits it down at the front of her chin.
I think it maybe just made me feel a little bit better that maybe in some way I was helping you too.
She turns to you and smiles. She says, "You've never needed to protect me.
I know.
Peyton,
Misha,
I've always..." And you watch as her hand goes limp.
I rest her hand on her lap, just kind of on the ground. I open up the book of herbs and the blue spider lily that I found in the book that I bought, because this is mine now. I rip the page out of the book and I put it in her hands and I say, I'll get you a real one someday.
You
I
hear
promise.
a voice from behind. Someday? Well, I mean, if you wish to wait that long.
I turn around, almost too quick, but I'm tearing. I'm angry at whoever's talking to me, interrupting me.
Behind you is a rather tall and looming figure. One who is dressed in very peculiar clothes. Somebody you actually don't recognize. Somebody you've not recognized in this town, just in general. He has a very wicked sort of grin cut across his face. Barely human, in fact. A large, sprawling, extended, tall hat. Not a top hat, but just a kind of a tall one. And he has the smell of grave dirt about his person. You don't see that Pharasman priest around, do you? No?
What?
The priest you travel with. The priest of Pharasma. She's not nearby.
What does that matter?
Oh, everything. Absolutely everything. What if I told you that I could help? Help her. Help you. Would be no trouble at all. I just need something from the heroes of Sandpoint.
You come to the wrong place. There are no heroes here.
Well then, perhaps a hero isn't what I need. Just a desperate enough soul to help me accomplish my goals. Allow me to introduce myself.
No. Fuck.
I am the Undertaker. And all I need is someone who is traveling this pit in search of an old friend of mine to simply, at the right moment, present him with a gift. Do so, and I'll give you a gift of my own. The life of your dear friend here. At least for a time. Death, of course, as all things, cannot be stopped entirely. But she can be distracted. Choose now and choose wisely. Should your companion return, she will likely not like anything that is about to transpire.
She also wouldn't like me dealing with necromantic beings.
Necromancy? Shh. I'm no necromancer. Rest assured. No undead. Real, true flesh and blood.
Are there anyone else here, by the way?
Nope. Just you.
And there's no
Everyone's giving-
guards?
Everyone is giving you privacy. They are the guards are on the other side of the
Oh, okay.
on the other side of the alleyway. They're, like I said, they're giving you your space and your privacy.
Okay. I wasn't sure if there would have been anybody looking on and just
Mhm.
being like, oh, who the hell is this guy, you know? But yeah. Okay, sorry. Sorry to interrupt.
The clock is ticking, and she is slipping.
Peyton doesn't know what to do. Because Peyton knows that if he does this, Misha won't forgive him. And neither will the town, and neither will Morrow or any of his teammates. Because he knows Morrow's here because of this necromancy that's been going on.
If they find out.
If they...
Question is, would Peyton try to play it off as divine intervention?
True.
Who is this? That you're... I don't know how to word it, but it's like I'm asking who he's trying to look for.
You don't have time to ask questions, Peyton.
This is real.
Oh, it's about as real as it gets. At this point in time, I'm going to say that the conversation with No-Win is kind of concluding, and the group is starting to make their way back towards the alleyway.
So the conversation with Noah, like the thing that Evander probably would have talked to Noah.
Oh,
about.
we'll have that. We will have that conversation. I'm just
okay.
for the timing of what's happening here.
I'll do it.
You watch as his smile actually creeps, as his cheeks actually split and crack almost like rubble. And as he opens his mouth, he has way too many teeth, as he seems pleased at your answer. He reaches into his jacket and puts into your hand two objects. 3 objects, actually, technically. The first of the objects is a music box. He says, "This is a gift to the creature in red. His name is the Red Bishop.
I just stare at him.
Present him with this. He does not need to know where it comes from, but if he figures it out, all the sweeter. The second is for you and your darling departed. Place the ring upon her finger. And enjoy a nice, long life as best you can. Lest I need to measure you for a casket, Peyton."
What does the ring do?
Do you have time to ask? You look down at Mesha, and as you do so, you look back at him and he is gone. Nothing but a chill in the wind.
Two out of 3 of the items.
I don't want to do it because I know Misha's gonna hate me.
There are 2 rings.
Okay.
So there's the
I
music
think
box
yeah,
and 2
I'm-
rings. 1 for each of you. Now, while you decide what we're going to do, we're going to switch scenes back to Navander. So this is about 5 minutes prior. And we're going to go from No-Win's conversation. Still taken aback by what Peyton had said about him not existing had you guys not gotten into the pit. Navander, you say you wish to speak with Nowin.
Yes, I think this is a conversation that Maru, Sandariel, and Westonson should be involved with as well.
Sure.
Maro's here. She followed.
Westonson would be snooping around, seeing if we can see anything about who may have passed this area, like moved out beyond where the guards are, doing guard stuff, looking for evidence, looking for footprints, looking for a torn red cloak or anything like that.
Okay. We'll get a perception check from you for that.
Okay. You know what? Well, no, I'll roll first, but I'm pretty sure I'm going to fail this, and we'll. Oh, nope. Apparently I won't. 31.
Wow, 31. Okay. So as you look around, trying to investigate amidst all of this, you find one thing, and one very notable thing. Oddly enough, in like kind of a crack between some of the sewer grate kind of things, you find a ring belonging to the Scarnetti family.
All right. I will use a piece of cloth to pick it up, wrap it up, and.
Oh, you know
put
what?
it in
Sorry. Just because we did the whole ring thing with Peyton, let's retcon that and make it a handkerchief.
Okay.
It's like just a stained handkerchief with a monogram symbol.
I will use a dagger to pick it up gingerly and put it in one of the various pouches that's attached to my backpack.
All right, not a problem.
Then I will go to Novander's fetchings.
Mm-hmm.
What do you need?
So we're back to the conversation.
Yep.
Yes.
What? All right, Nolan. It's time to cut the crap. We all know what and who you are. You know what we are. So why don't we talk plainly, for once, without politics, without a crowd? Why don't we just talk plainly?
I presume you have something you wish to say.
You weren't involved with this, were you?
He
Tell the
looks angered at the suggestion. He said, "Of course not. What do I have to gain from something like this?"
Good. Our doppelgangers, our clones, make life difficult.
We
The way we're looking at it,
did not choose to come into this world.
no.
The ones making things difficult are the people who give us labels, call us things, demand to know what we are. What we are people who want what everyone wants, the right to live. Half the memories in my mind don't even belong to me. I am creating my own life. I have no intention of following the footsteps of the pathetic human that gave some well, I can't say DNA because he doesn't know what that is, who gave some of his blood to forge me. But I am more than just a thing. I am more than a science experiment. And by the time I'm through, it won't just be Peyton, but the whole lot of you that'll be run out of this town. It won't be me that doesn't belong here.
That is where the miscommunication starts, my friend. I accept you. I know you as an individual. What you've proved already shows me that you're an individual.
I saw you kill the other Sindariel and the other Ziak. I saw how quick you were to turn to the blade. No, your sweet words won't work with you here. As you said, we speak plainly. You are the killer of monsters. Monsters like me. You don't need to pretend. I don't need to pretend. Wolves in sheep's clothing. At this point in time, keep an eye on your real version. He is about as close to the edge as anyone is going to get. And he will storm off at this point.
Although I appreciate the forward discussion with him there, Nevander, I may have found something a little further away from the scene that might point us in a different direction. And I'll pull out the handkerchief.
One moment. What was he talking about? What else have you been involved in?
So deep inside a pit, just, out of sight of town a ways, there's some deep dwarves that are manufacturing clones. It's fine.
Yeah, they're trying to figure out a way to not burn to a crisp in daylight, so they're using blood from other creatures who are resistant to daylight to study on how to be in daylight. And unfortunately, our blood's thrown up and down those walls like paint.
Actually, I think I saw someone painting with your blood when you were down there one time.
Well, it is a rich red color. I don't think it'll last over time, though.
Might go a bit black.
Probably.
Anyway.
A handkerchief?
Yeah. Yes.
Yes. When I pull it out, it's got a particular monogram on it.
Please don't tell me it's an S. Please don't tell me it's an S. Please don't tell me it's an S.
It's a CS.
Damn.
I'm not telling you. You can see it. It's right there on the cloth. I'm just sort of staring at you with it. Really? You need me to spell this out for you? Okay.
This is someone you know, I take it?
Know and hate. Yeah, hate's the right word. Know and hate.
You seem to have a lot of conflict with a lot of people in this town.
I just tried to go about my existence and pass through the town. I blame Nevander here, the elf. He pulled me in on this.
No,
You
no,
just
no.
look like an elf.
He uses a bow and flies on a hippogriff.
How does that make him an elf?
Do you know someone else that uses a bow and flies on a hippogriff that elves?
Well, isn't there a whole organization that did such things? Anyway, this is off the topic.
Very.
So it sounds like you potentially have a lead for a line of questioning for the murder.
They are a very powerful family in this town, and just walking in there and accusing them of something like this would end badly. And they don't like me. Yeah,
Our
that's-
friend over there also seems to be working with that particular family.
Yes.
The clone, I see. Well, at least we know where to look for things. When things calm down a bit, maybe we can go investigate this home for evidence, perhaps? Does he wear red? The spirits
Some-
keep mentioning someone who wears red.
There was a kind of a reference to that in further earlier investigations to this. But a spirit we talked to made reference to the person that we're looking for potentially wearing red.
Well then, it seems like when I'm down, perhaps we can visit when they're sleeping or gone for the day. Perhaps we can find some leads in their home. Some evidence that connects them to.
They're a very wealthy, powerful family. They would have a lot of people on their estate, even when they're not home. And
Interesting.
as much as I appreciate your enthusiasm for flexing the law into your individual hands, really? You sound a bit like Peyton.
On
Do you think
that,
that should be a local insult? Anyway.
on that note, we're gonna have to keep an eye on Peyton.
Yes.
Oh, I
We should
assume
find him
he's over there.
if he's.
All right, you all head over to Peyton. Peyton, at this point in time, is when the Undertaker disappeared, just as the others have moved in. They are intercepted briefly by Father Xantus and the sheriff, who have begun just basically talking about what they found. Do you guys tell them about the handkerchief? Yay or nay? Just need a yay or nay.
I'm going to say yay. Okay. I will turn it into the.
Yeah.
I'll turn it over to the guard.
Sure. Okay, cool. So yeah,
While they're doing that.
Yeah, this is the point where they're just telling about the handkerchief, about what might happen here, yada yada yada.
I had an idea of what I could do with the rings, but now that No, I can't anymore because Newton no one didn't come with them.
Okay.
So now Peyton turns to Misha, and he slowly picks up her hand, and he puts one of the rings on her ring finger. Then I take a look at the one in my hand for a second. Put it in my other hand. And I put it on the... I will put it on the... Then I will put it on my finger, my also ring finger. My main non-dominant fighting hand. So the other hand. Which will be my left hand.
Okay.
And I put it on.
Then you put it on Misha?
Yeah, I put Misha's on first.
Oh, first. Okay, sorry, yep. All right, as you do so, you feel nothing initially. And then suddenly there is this pang of pain in your heart, almost as if nails have been driven into your heart. A few moments later, Misha gasps. Her lungs fill with air as the wound stitches. Now, Peyton, you feel that huge gash in your chest.
I think I start and fall to the ground.
As this happens, Misha's body stitches together. The wound heals. The ring functions as a ring of regeneration.
Mm-hmm.
And
Okay.
to all magical appearances and detection, it is a ring of regeneration. But what it is a ring of soul link. Meaning that in the event of one's death, there is effectively, and I wish there was a better way to describe it, there is a master and a slave ring. The slave is pretty much immortal unless the master dies. The trouble is whenever the slave ring dies, the master sacrifices a piece of themselves. So Peyton, to bring back your friend, I'm going to have to ask you to lose your hit points equal to your level.
Ooh.
And that is a permanent feature.
Okay.
There is one way to fix it, though.
Okay.
And that is to remove your ring. And in
Hell
doing
no.
so, would kill Misha again.
Mm-hmm. I don't know how to drop my max.
I'll
I
do it.
can't
I'll
do it.
I'll do it for you. That's fine.
So
Oh,
I
yeah,
use
he's got
6.
this.
So
Is it per level? So like whatever I would gain next, I would lose one more since I level 7 then.
correct.
If we leveled up. So level 20, I would be guessing 20. Okay.
Yep, and so basically, at
But
this point
it's
in
not
time,
every
if Misha,
level
if
I
Misha
lose.
dies 6
Yeah.
times, effectively you'll be near death, if not dead.
Yeah.
Mhm. But for now, however, that's where you're at. Okay.
So right now it's 6. If we leveled up, I'd lose 7, or is it just one more from the
One
6?
more, just one more.
Okay, got it. Oh, but yeah, Peyton is definitely lying on the ground on his back in pain right now.
Misha sits up with a start. What? How am I alive? Peyton, help! You hear Misha calling for help, which is fucking odd.
I grab her
first of
arm.
all-
Stop.
First
It's okay.
You're not okay. She sort of is kneeling over you.
Yes, but you are.
She like touches her chest. The wound there is like a scar, but there's no actual wound. She says, "I am. How am I okay?" At this point, everyone shows up.
Don't-
You know, like everyone runs over at this point in time.
How?
I'm too hurt to talk right now. Unless Misha does something, then I'm kind of constantly watching Misha.
Peyton, would it be fair to assume that Sandero would be immediately thinking, what the fuck have you done, Peyton?
That's exactly what.
Given his track record.
I think that is the thought that crosses all of our minds in those exact words.
I lean over to
And there you go,
Vander.
Dag. You got me to swear, even though I don't usually say
5 silver says Peyton did something fundamentally stupid. Just, like, not quite deal with the devil stupid, but fundamentally
Yes.
stupid.
Yes, I'm not going to take that bet because I know you would win. You should watch Peyton. Who was watching?
Okay. I think at this point,
I
the
was-
mature warning thing can come down.
Yeah. And Cinderella, because obviously she was probably the one that was supposed to be watching Peyton, it's like, I was giving him space. I was praying that she passed peacefully.
I'd also point out there were 4 city guards right over there. I figured 8 to 10 eyes ought to be good enough. Oops.
Maro is going to look around and try to see if she can pick up anything that indicates what exactly just happened here.
There's no evidence of anything untoward happening. I mean, everyone's kind of thrown a lot at Peyton without Peyton actually explaining anything. So
I think Peyton just
I
yells.
suppose- Would we
I think-
notice
yeah.
the very clear new jewelry on the pair of them?
well, it depends. It's wearing a ring is like kind of a very minor thing. I'd say that, like some of you might notice, some of you might not,
And I've had a ring on. I've got the ventriloquist string, so.
You have a new ring, Neil. Like that's
No, I know. This is on my other hand.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, I guess if they notice it on
You
my
would then
other
go
hand,
from having
then,
one
yeah.
ring to having 2 rings. And most people,
Yeah.
Neil, can count to 2.
I know. I just wasn't sure if
Especially
it was
considering
me
that
noticing.
you described it as putting the rings on your ring fingers.
Yeah. Okay.
Why
Effectively-
the ring fingers?
Yeah, effectively engaging or marrying her.
I don't know. I just.
Yeah, like,
No, I didn't.
Peyton. You have to ask before you do that, Could have put it on any finger.
Vander's going to make his way over and he's going to do something. He's gonna.
That's
he's
just
gonna-
Neil thinking it's the only finger
he's-
a ring can go on.
Misha's kind of hunched over Peyton, right? Is Misha
Don't-
hunched over Peyton?
lick
as
Misha.
Peyton screams out in pain.
Don't lick me. Oh, for magic.
You know it's happening.
Hey, Misha, this is gonna sound really weird, but can I have your hand for a second, please? Something's not right here. Something. You shouldn't be standing. You shouldn't be curled up over Peyton. You should be. There's something wrong here. Can I have your hand for a second, please?
She's a little nervous, but then she does like hand her hand over to you.
All right. I'm letting you know. I need to detect if there's any magic on you or anything that happened, so we can just see what's happening. Because Peyton's not in the right state of mind to talk at the moment.
Okay, I'm kind of scared about what's going on here. And
There's
surprised
no-
that no one's asking me about my murder instead. But okay.
Yes. Yes.
No, it's fine. Let's talk about
Priorities.
this ring thing.
Sorry.
It's not all good. Me being alive is definitely an affront to nature, so let's go and investigate that.
Yes. So just so you're clear, just so you're clear, the way I detect if there's any magic on you requires me to taste said magic on that individual.
Do I hear him say that?
She gives you a look of like kind of disgust, really.
Listen,
Just yell at
I
Evander.
don't-
Don't you dare!
Oh,
don't pick how I cast attack. I don't
Yeah.
pick how I can use this sense. It just is. All right.
All right.
Does
How
Peyton,
about
actually try to prevent Evander from like licking?
He just yells at him. I'm gonna intimidate the fuck out of him. I'm not gonna
Yeah, go on.
physically do anything, but
Do it. Do the thing. Oh,
that
fuck
is
yeah.
a 31.
All right, what's your will save plus 10, Evander?
Probably not 31. Let me check.
I don't think it was 31.
Not 31.
All right. Yeah, Peyton scares the crap out of you for a second. You feel like it's not a
What
great
is it?
idea
Because
to-
what if it's a crit fail?
Is it a crit
If it's
fail?
a crit fail, I'll draw my bow and start shooting you because you're a threat.
That's true.
Oh, true.
Crap! Peyton's
That
turning
came-
him. Quick, get him!
Okay.
All right.
There's Mara going, I need a minute.
All right. All of you just move off.
I bet you really appreciate leaving the dwarven halls for this now, don't you?
You said I was at the Dwarven Halls.
You're
Anyways, back off. Give this
That-
woman some space.
Very well.
I know you've been through a lot, but and I'm sorry I have to bring this back up, but do you know who attacked you?
She says, yes. It was, and I can't believe I'm saying this, it was Jervis Stute.
Interesting.
His face, it was twisted, tormented, crying tears of black blood. He chased me. I tried to defend myself, but fell. Next thing I know, there was just this pain. And I collapsed.
Don't know if it'd be safe for you to be alone. Do you have someone you can stay with?
Yes, I have a few friends in town I could stay with.
That's good.
At this point, she says, "Is Peyton going to be okay?"
Well, I'm just gonna look down at him.
Peyton's just glaring at Evander, going,
Hey.
"Grrr."
Hey, you all right? She's good. Hey,
Well, how about I
are you
lick
fine?
you? Come here.
No!
You will not be licking anybody. That's disgusting. Ugh.
Has the
Boy,
pain?
You think that's disgusting? You're in for a heck of a ride in the next week or so.
Has
Oh,
the
by the
pain
way,
gone
I'm
down
You
a
all
little?
have
Westonson.
weird discuss. Oh, yes, Morrow.
Pleasure.
Why don't we escort you to your? Well, actually, first you should probably speak to the chief, police,
Sheriff.
so they know you are alive. The sheriff, rather,
Wait.
and then see
Wait.
that you.
Wait, and has the pain died
Morrow's
down, or is
gonna
it
pull
still
you
kind
up
of?
off the ground. She's
The
gonna
pain is
pull
permanently
you
there.
up.
Ah, oh, ouch. Okay. I'll let Maro pulls me up, and I'm like, thanks. Ow. Ooh, ow, ow. Still kind of clutching my chest. I say, don't. And I look to Misha and I just say, don't remove the ring.
She looks at it.
No, wait. Oh, wait. First off, let me say, would Peyton know what the rings do, or
Nope.
does he not? Okay. All he knows is that it brought her back to life,
Mhm.
and now I'm feeling her pain.
No, you're not feeling her pain.
I thought you said I felt
No.
the
You
permanent
felt
scar.
it. Yeah, no. You felt it when it got absorbed.
Oh, okay,
Now
but
it's
it's not
just
there
this-
anymore.
Yeah, now it's just this constant, like, feels like pins and nails are being driven into your heart. That's what.
Okay, well that's what I was asking, like how much pain I'm feeling, and if it's like
it's a
manageable.
permanent, steady pain. If you've, I mean,
Okay, yeah.
I wish I could make a comparison, but if you've ever suffered chronic pain, it is chronic
Yeah, okay.
pain in the heart. You know,
Gotcha.
like, it
Okay.
sucks. It's just always there. You're always in pain.
Permanent heartburn. I feel that one.
A little bit.
Yeah. Okay, I kind of get it then.
She looks at her hand, and I want you to roll me a percentage because she looks at it and immediately goes, "What the fuck?" Because
Yeah.
she has a ring on her ring
11.
finger. She immediately tries to take it off.
No,
You gotta say something.
don't do it.
She says,
I kinda
what
grab
the
her
hell is
hand.
this, Peyton?
I gave, and then I pick up the piece of paper that had the picture of this blue spider lily in it, and I said I was gonna find you a real one, and then someone came up behind me and said, "Why wait?" Obviously I don't say what everything he said, but there was a guy, he offered to help bring you back, but I knew you wouldn't like it, but I didn't know what else to do, and I was confused. It was a guy in black, and and then I looked to the group and he said, he told me to give this to the Crimson Bishop,
Red Bishop.
the Red Bishop. And I hold
Peyton,
out
yeah, Peyton presents the
music
music
box.
box. Now first of all, you've done the tangent thing again, which is fine. I understand what you're trying to do. She has demanded to know what the fuck this ring is, and you've told a story about some random bloke, right? Which she doesn't know.
I will bring up the point
Yeah,
that he did say to give the ring to you, and it would about connecting us. He did say that,
No,
or no? Okay.
You just said it would save her.
he just said to put one
Yeah,
on you
okay.
and one on him, and when you did so, it was you were alive.
Okay. So I would I guess I would just say he said it would save you.
She looks at you and she is mad.
Mm-hmm.
She slaps you across the face.
Mm-hmm. More pain.
That's just you.
Ouch.
She says, "I can't believe you did this." At
I
this
know.
point,
I'm sorry.
At this point, Misha? Misha, it's a miracle. Are you... Misha turns and runs to Nowin. He hugs her and holds her, and she says, how are you? It's not important. Listen, do you mind if I stay at your place? I just don't want to be alone at the moment. And no one says, of course, I'll sleep on the couch. She wraps her arm around Noan, and Noan looks to the group again before heading out with Misha.
Maro just says, keep her safe in case they come back.
I will. Meanwhile, Peyton, as you pick yourself up and all the information has been shared, the sheriff dismisses you all, basically saying, this seems like a religious thing. Father Xantus, as the town spiritualist, this will fall likely to, and at this point, interruption! As another priest shows up.
There's a whole lot of us.
I know. There's a lot of you. This one is Reagan. Reagan the rat folk. Yeah, Reagan the rat folk turns around and he says, "What fortuitous timing. Good evening, one and all. I heard there was some kind of distress with a victim being attacked, but it seemed as though those injuries were temporary thanks to the efforts of Cinderiel, I believe." Intentionally, by the way, when recapped, the sheriff and Father Xantus give Cinderiel the credit of bringing her back and don't mention Peyton or the rings or the stranger or the fucking music box. They're just, like saying like, oh yes, no, Cinderiel got here in time to administer healing. Well, how fortunate that she was able to pull through. And of course, Cinderiel, did you manage to receive tithes for your services rendered? For the temple and the church, you are a priestess of the cloth, are you not?
I had a few other things going through my head at the time.
Ah, of course. You are, after all, only in training, so such things are easy to miss among your duties as a priestess. Of course, I understand. But from what I hear of this wayward spectre, it perhaps provides us ample opportunity to provide our second challenge to the good Father Xantus to prove his worthiness of his role as High Priest here. To sanctify a town is, of course, one of the basic requirements of the priesthood, and Father Xantus would have no trouble at all exercising such a spirit before it can take another victim. At this point, the rat folk kind of coils his claws together as he looks over at Father Xantus, who, again, is kind of like just not glaring at him, but he's trying to kind of keep that, like, like the kindly fuck off kind of face, you know what I mean? Like you absolute dick. Yeah, okay. So he says, of course, I would be more than happy to prove time and time again that this town is a place which is in safe hands. Of course, my apprentice even saved one of the victims before the first one was even claimed, so of course it would be no matter at all for me to be able to put this spirit to rest. We will set about the task first thing in the morning. For now, I think everyone should call it in. 'Tis late after all, and an old man needs to get his sleep. He looks to all of you and winks. And he says, have I ever told you about the time? And she, scoops up the other priest and sort of, starts walking him away.
Sanctify a whole town. Wow.
Well, before we get into that, the sheriff.
The sheriff.
Westonson.
Everyone wears red around here.
A lot of people wear red.
You've done well to find this piece of evidence, but I think your instincts are correct. If we went and charged the Scarnetti based on this, we would do nothing but pull ourselves into a lawsuit and end up doing more damage than good. If the Scarnettis are involved, then, well, it's something we need to address carefully. Much so that they cannot victimize other members of the town, but also, if the witness themselves cannot attest to the presence of the Scarnetti boy being here, I think maybe we keep this under wraps for now, but maybe investigate them discreetly. After all, I hear that Khan has taken quite a liking to some of you. See if you can find your way into his house. Find out if there's any evidence or any proof of his association with Jarvis. Something funny is going on in this town, and I intend to get to the bottom of it.
I'll see what I can do.
He nods.
I have a new acquaintance that seems pretty keen to break in. I'm joking.
Morrow does give you the "I told you so" look, though.
He salutes.
You go in, I'll watch.
He salutes and then he leaves. Now you guys are.
I start to do a salute and then remember I'm not a guard anymore and just stop.
Fair.
This is a complicated
If we're dealing with a
town.
copycat here, it's going to be really hard.
Misha said that the person who attacked her looked exactly like Jarvis. So I'm not exactly sure what is going on here.
Well, I was
But
attacked by an
also
incorporeal foe.
crying dark black blood from his eyes. Interesting. Do I know of any, like, would I know if this could be like someone resurrected or could basically reanimate Jervis and force him to go back onto his killing spree?
Silence wizard.
Reanimated, no, but potentially summoning. What do you call it? Potentially summoning the restless spirit. Absolutely.
Mm. Right. Might not be a copycat after all, then. And if this Scarnetti is pulling the spirit back, we'll have to solve that, shall we?
So there's two things to consider. One, as we're walking away from the crime scene and making sure no other guards are around, prior to me going to Father Xantus and having my hand repaired, it was an apparition that attacked me in the alleyway. Before Navander and them could get there, I shot it with a life shot, imbued with a healing potion, and that sent it back to the island, which sent us to the island. While they were there, the spirit that was free from possessing Peyton, who has an incredibly amazing knack of touching random weird magical items before asking anyone's permission or information about them, promptly told us that the person was donned in red. Didn't mean that there was the person that was doing the killing. It could be the person that is abusing the spirit to do the killing.
Yes.
Now, someone mentioned something about a red bishop. Sorry, I know you priest types, but priests can talk to dead as well as wizards and sorcerers.
Yes.
And potentially control them. So.
Yes.
That was my thought.
My thoughts are there's a lot of people running around in red, so we definitely need to collect information to find out which person in red is controlling and abusing this spirit.
Yep.
And it sounds like one of our leads is this Scarnetti family that seems to hate you so.
I may have told them to go entertain themselves in a dark corner at one point. It's kind of vague.
Did they deserve it?
Oh, as far as I remember, yes. Evander tells me they did. That's the elf.
The elf that looks like a human.
Yes. I don't look like I'm carrying a weapon or wearing armor, but I guarantee you I am. And we had a friend that was a walking dog that looked like a human or a dwarf or a hobgoblin or a goblin. So the sheer amount of concealing magic in the group is quite high. I'm just saying. Hippogriff, bow. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. Right now, we need to get Evander to give Peyton a drink. Because I think Peyton needs a drink. And I can't do
Yes,
it.
and then you can tell us about this magic rings.
I should probably not bug him about the rings just yet.
Yes.
Let's let him drown a
Noted.
few things first. And I walk, as we're saying this, I'm walking towards the tavern. Just guiding everyone towards the tavern.
Very well.
Are they even open at this late?
They're always open.
12 a.m. They're another hour.
Heading over to the tavern. Heading over to the tavern. The Hagfish is indeed open. It's always open till about 3 a.m. So like they're
I
still
was gonna
pretty
say,
good.
didn't we ask for a curfew to be put on the town?
There is.
There is
So
a curfew on the town.
There is, and no one's in the tavern, but the tavern is open.
I'm waving to guards as we walk by. Hi.
There are no guards. Again, the town of Sandpoint is a small town with a very very tiny militia. There is a single sheriff of the town. Everyone else is kind of called in to help. You have no soldiers whatsoever to defend the town. So you see no one in the streets because everyone's doing right except for you guys. As you arrive at the tavern, outside of being ignored for ignoring the curfew, you are presented with food and beverage and the like. It gives you a chance amply to rest and recuperate and recover. Peyton, during the entire time, kind of you finger the ring that you've placed upon yourself. That pain is just not subsiding and going away no matter what you do. Navander, you will notice Peyton kind of doing this, and Maro, something unsettles you. You feel almost like a call from your goddess telling you to be careful and stay vigilant. There is definitely evil afoot. And that sense of necromancy being here hasn't shifted or hasn't gone away. There definitely still seems to be a persistent feeling that someone or something is disturbing the restful slumber of the dead, and it falls to you to fix that. Then suddenly an undead cat rubs past your leg and disappears.
That's right.
You get used to it, and ravens, which is why we can't really sneak in.
Yeah, on that note, you should probably be aware that if you do do you have an ability to detect undead?
In what way?
As in, can you just detect undead? As in, as a character, do you have an ability that detects undead?
Actually, that is a good point. She's a cleric of Phrasma, right?
Uh-huh.
Priest of Pharasma.
Does she know who the crow is?
That's why I'm just checking for future.
We talked to the crow at the
I am a priest of Pharasma.
All right, that'll be fine then. Don't worry about it. Not important.
Why do you think the Undertaker said, not while she's here
Right.
through all this? You get
Oh,
very close to
fun.
slipping up.
No, I was just talking about the crow that Navander talked to before. Yeah.
Oh, the psychopomp? I think she saw him.
Yeah,
And she knows that's a psychopomp, so she was just like, okay.
that's what I
Oh,
was.
okay.
Yeah.
That's fine.
No, she's not bothered by the psychopomp. She's just kind of like, she knows who they are. She knows who they serve. So, yeah.
All right, Peyton. You
Okay.
look should have. Why don't you stay at my place for the night?
Are you sure?
Yeah, I got enough room for you and Peyton, for you and Weston to stay. House will be empty anyway, right?
Okay. Thank you. I don't know if I'll get much sleep tonight, but thank you.
Well, at
Hey,
least your
join the
friend
club.
is alive.
Join the club.
Mm-hmm.
And I know you're a young kid, but I think it's about time we talk about what it means to be engaged. Yeah.
What? Oh fuck!
You begin to have that,
Oh,
that
God damn it.
conversation as we.
Oh, no!
Now,
No!
it is around like 1 or 2 a.m. when you begin to head back home. Everyone kind of like calls it in for the night. You kind of take a few, you're kind of staggering home a little bit. Like you guys haven't gone like too far, if that makes sense. Just
I'm stone sober.
And except for you, you're stone sober.
I'm not drunk either. Yeah.
As you
I will be drinking.
as you get to your homes, a bright light seems to be emanating from in the distance. Not that one. One moment.
Are Cindereal and I just kind of tagging along to make sure you guys get home safe? Or did we go back to the temple?
Let's say that you're just making sure everyone does get home safe.
Wonderful.
As you do so, you see the lights seem to be coming from Novander's house.
Shouldn't be anyone harmed.
No,
Nice, so
you live
brilliant.
alone, Navander. Because you remember
Is your wife having a party?
Your wife has
Yeah, exactly.
your wife has
Yeah.
gone elsewhere.
I was gonna say, didn't you hire a stable hand to help take care of the animals while you're away?
No, that's down at the ranch, not the townhouse.
Did Mizu kick over a lantern?
No, Mizu's here. He
Mizu?
didn't on his.
Oh, sorry, I'm half out of it right now.
Who the hell's my harm?
As you begin to make your way across, all of a sudden you could see that there's a line going out your house around the corner with what looks to be two very large bugbear in very, very big armor and a red velvet rope that lines across your front door. One by one, the goblins seem to be talking to this dude. Some of them are getting like flung into the mud, and others, especially the female goblins, are being let into your house.
Are you having
Ben
a
stands there like,
party?
no.
Goblin party.
I have to admit, this is very, very forward of you, forward thinking. I congratulate you in your accepting Cinderio's teachings of acceptance and, redemption.
Thanks, Peyton.
Hey, Weston.
Oh, sorry.
Weston.
Yes.
What's the biggest bomb you have?
Was the biggest what I have?
Bomb.
Oh.
Bomb.
Well, just ignore it. Let's see. I start digging through a pocket that's incredibly small, but seems to contain a lot of random stuff. Let me see here. Well, I can empty the place out if you like, guys.
Going to throw a bomb at a bunch of goblins?
Yeah.
It's not going to kill them. It's not going to kill them. It's not going to hurt his
Wait.
house. It's just.
Mara's just gonna walk over there and see what's going on before they're throwing bombs.
I think
Don't have
when we were
enough
at the
arrows.
bar,
I didn't bring my quiver. It's in the house. Damn it.
I think Peyton drank a lot when we were at the bar before, so he's just kind of like, ugh. But like when he sees these goblins, he's like, "Why are the kids all sick?"
Mara's just gonna walk over to the bouncers, the apparent bugbear bouncers.
Well, Cinderella's trying to talk the Vander down, saying, "I don't want to do anything while the town's on alert."
That too, yeah.
To be fair, they're not going to die. There's not going to be a fire. They'll just run. Maybe cry.
Yeah.
Cower.
We need to get a medicine.
Mara's like, hello. What's happening here?
As the two bouncers look at you, they begin to sort of pour through their list. You not on list. You not dressed well. Go home. Also, already drunk. Can't come in.
Oh,
I'm
Be like
not
that.
drunk. And
I'm
I
fine.
You mean you're not drunk and you choose dress like this? They look at each other.
What is wrong with my attire?
Look like going to funeral.
I am a priest of Pharasma.
Doesn't mean
How
me
we
wrong.
dress.
Fair. To be fair, he's not wrong.
I mean, I do oversee funerals. I mean,
This not funeral. This party.
I can see that. This apparently, though, is my
he
companion's
starts bobbing his
house.
head.
This
They look. They
is
turn around and
my
they
house.
they turn around and they look and they see all the lights and then they hear all the dancing and stuff and all the cheering. No, apparently this looked like party.
You're
He's
having a
also not wrong
party
there, right?
and Mara will turn back there. Are you sure this is your house?
Yes.
I don't see your name
Yes,
on it.
Look
He's
at the
right,
front
your
door.
Your name is not on the front door. There's a number.
Hey, look, Commander, there's a
There's
chicken on your
there's
counter.
there's a number, but there is no name on the door.
Hey, look, Commander, there's a chicken on your counter. I can see it right in there. Look, right there. You had chickens, right?
Where's that bomb, Westonson?
So who?
I'm tossing a vial of dark ampule in my hand. Just let me know when.
Dark Ampule.
May I ask who's hosting the party, at least?
Sorry, who?
Silence wizard again.
Silence.
Okay,
was
Okay,
there.
Too
I
loud.
literally muted myself to talk. Yeah.
okay.
Well done. We can
Ma-
almost tell what you're saying just
Yeah, I
by
know.
watching you.
Mara, you can make the diplomacy check.
Okay. Let's see. Ooh, diplomacy is not my thing. I'm more the intimidation route. Oh, 18, that's not so bad. Considering I'm untrained.
Wait here. The crowd line starts complaining about you guys cutting in line and stuff, so all the goblins are like, and those of you who speak goblin know that they're basically going like, what the fuck are these guys? Freaking Longshanks getting preferential treatment. Boo. You know.
Hey, then
Mara
I say
just-
back to them, this is
Mara
our
just
house.
glares
We
at
get
them.
priority.
Like, settle down.
I got my goblin boots smashing boots on.
Goblin, I just tell them, hey, this is this guy's house. We have priority.
as you do so, eventually a goblin comes out, and this goblin's like wearing effectively like, it's like just kind of like this big barrel with like spray paint kind of on it to make it look like a bigger goblin.
Yes.
And this person's got like this really tall glass with like a swirly straw as he's drinking. And it is the goblin who cooked you breakfast the other day. He goes, woo! Ah! Alright, who's ready to part? And you watch as he sees Navander. His ears sort of flop down. And he runs back inside, he closes the door and locks it. And that is where we're going to end today's session.
I just imagine Goblin and death metal ringing out from his house.
Now you hear from the other side of the door, okay, I can see why you might be mad.
I can see you're angry.
But I can see you're angry. Have a margarita. And he watches out of the chimney. Just
Have a complimentary shower.
margarita throws.
Margarita out of the gym.
All right, but next week
Yeah.
we return to watch Evander try and evict a horde of goblins from his house.
To be fair, he's already evicted this one once before because he chucked him out a window.
That's true. Yes, and hopefully when we get back, we'll get to see this whole thing. And like I said, I feel like this is just so sorely needed after today. Now, a couple things real quick before you leave. A very big special thank you to McClover for donating the rings, which revived Misha. McClover's parameters for the magic item was a morale boost to the person who would need it the most, which I viewed as Peyton, and I said, in the spirit of it, and I know how much Misha meant to everyone, while, yes, we did have the death, and Callie was the one who donated for that death, I feel in that moment, from how everyone interacted, we got everything we needed, everything we wanted from the death scene. So I felt completed, I felt fulfilled with that, and now with this sort of guillotine hanging over their head, Peyton, who is one of our tanks, now has to consider that when he goes into battle, and if he dies, Misha dies permanently.
It's funny because I'm not actually in the tank. It's Sedera has more HP.
Which is going to mean, like, is he going to take more care with his actions? Is he going to be more, is he going to try and avoid taking damage? What's going to happen here? So there's lots of cool stuff there. And of course, it just absolutely amazing. Now, we did have 3 magic items from the Dag of Holding. So I'm going to give those to the group right now just before I forget. The first was the music box. The music box is an ancient artifact that I used in one of my campaigns to house Dracula. Basically, Dracula's castle in my world was kind of inspired by the Castlevania castle. So it was built with lots of clockwork mechanisms and clockwork features. Now, the trouble was, in order to power it, you needed the blood of Dracula to do this. So this music box was the core, and inside was a vial of Dracula's blood, which perpetually created infinite energy. Now, in this particular case, it's going to function the same way, in that it is going to do something, which I'm not going to tell you what, but it is going to do something when presented to the Red Bishop. So that's the first of our Dag of Holding items. The second Dag of Holding item is going to be a set of chains. Now, I'm going to give these to Maro, actually, because we haven't given Maro a gift yet. These chains are going to come courtesy of your temple, your church, or whatever, and they have a function where whatever word you speak, either trap, wall, trap, extend. Those are the 3 words. Wall, trap, and extend. The wall creates a length of chain that then creates a chain wall in front of you. It is a 5-foot it's sort of like, it creates a shield, if that makes sense, like a blockade, but it is made of chain, so it will not stop gas or liquid, but generally things, trap, it'll turn into a set of manacles which will grab someone, and extend means you will stretch it like rope, ranging from a 10-foot chain to a 100-foot long chain. It doesn't change the thickness or the heaviness. So even at 100 foot, you're not now like dealing with several tons of iron. It still weighs the same as a 10-foot length of chain, even with that length, So those are the 3 functions. Now this is actually the first weapon I ever homebrewed for my very first character when I played Pathfinder. Some of you guys have actually met that character. He is the guy who runs the Missing Arms, Asai, the serpent. When he went on his adventures, I looked at the spike chains and I was like, oh, these are so cool. And I started enchanting them with a bunch of different stuff to like be able to wrap around people like a trap, or to, again, create a wall of chains that can block people. And so these functions are what inspired that particular homebrew item. He's still a very, very fond character, a very, very much beloved individual as well. And to tie him off, I'm going to also give you, and these are a little bit better than, it is called the Mantle of Spider Climb. So the Mantle of Spider Climb is a cloak that sort of like twists like kind of like tightly to make spider legs, and these spider legs kind of allow you to use Spider Climb as per the spell. However, you can keep all of your hands and legs free for use during your Spider Climb. My chain-wielding character's companion was actually a Drider, and one of the things that we ended up fighting was a creature known as a Dragoloth. And because a Dragoloth has like the lower half of a spider, the upper half of like kind of almost like this drow gorilla type thing, and 2 tiny spellcasting hands, this thing was a nasty thing to fight. And so my friend, who was playing a regular Drider, grabbed hold of my guy, climbed onto the ceiling, and we kept out of its range while it was just raging and like freaking out and trying to kill us until it stopped raging and we could actually defeat it. So it's a very fond memory of like being saved by this person whose hands were free, but because their whole back half was a spider, they could like hold me tight and then climb up onto the ceiling. So that's what inspired the Mantle of Spider Climb, which also kind of like sort of semi-Spider-Man-y as well. So whoever would like that one, you guys can talk in chat as to who gets that particular item. But those are our 3 Dag of Holding items. We have, again, the music box, which was inspired by Dracula. My chains, which were inspired by my spike chains from my first character. And, of course, the Mantle of Spider Climb, which was that character's companion as well. Awesome. Guys, you're fucking fantastic. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Michael. I'm the Dead Aussie Gamer. This is my place. This is my face. You can find it here a number of times during the week. We will be back on Sunday for Pray for Death. So pray for us as we return back from that. But until we meet again, as always, stay safe, stay wonderful, be kind to each other, because why the fuck not? It's free. Britt, you're lovely. And until we meet again, game hard or die trying.